Hello and welcome to this holiday episode and season finale of One-on-One Sports.
Before we get into this very special episode, Matt and I are going to kick things off with the quick hitters. The San Francisco 49ers released linebacker Reuben Foster last week, but he was quickly picked up by the Washington Redskins. Foster had been suspended at the beginning of the year for a domestic violence arrest and is currently on the commissioner's exempt list. Matt, how is this guy still in the league, and should Roger Goodell take action to not allow him back?
Reuben Foster, just like Ray Rice, just like soon-to-be Kareem Hunt, should not ever be allowed to play in the NFL again. This is absurd. I understand what the Redskins did. If you look at it, they claimed him, which is not the end of the world. And they're saying he can't play until all the due process carried out, which is okay.
Yeah, okay.
But just the fact that they claimed him, NFL owners, NFL execs are saying this makes the entire league look bad, and they're right. It does make them look bad.
I agree. They made a terrible decision. It shows they have no moral compass. They heard a side of the story that is different. Okay, it's a bad judgment call for them no matter how they try to look at it. I don't know why he should be allowed back, but, you know, this is the team that signed Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, but without getting into that, it is absurd that Josh Gordon was only allowed to play 6 games from 2015 to 2018 for substance abuse.
Yeah.
While Reuben Foster has missed a game or 2 games and went unclaimed for like 2 hours. It is absurd that Josh Gordon was punished to the fullest extent of the NFL suspension policy, while Reuben Foster was not at all.
I know, it's ridiculous because you see people do far less worse things, and we'll leave some people unnamed for just lack of debate, and you know. But Reuben Foster, I mean, this is inexcusable. And like, as you mentioned, Ray Rice, as you mentioned, Kareem Hunt, soon to be, should never be allowed to play in this league. And it's just a dumb, boneheaded move by the Redskins.
I completely agree. Reuben Foster is not the only player in the news recently. Chiefs running back Kareem Hunt was placed on the commissioner's exempt list as well, and then released by the team on Saturday following a video surfacing that showed him physically attacking a woman in a hotel. This video is eerily similar to that of Ray Rice. So Andrew, did the Chiefs set a precedent with this action for the future?
I think they did, but it was a very poor precedent. Other teams will probably catch on to it as well. I think the biggest mistake they made, though, was not talking to Hunt or the victim before deciding to cut him as well. But, you know, they're doing their best to, you know, damage control the situation. So do I think they set a precedent? Yes, I do. Do I think they set the best precedent? No.
When you first look at this, right, and I know you feel the same way, it looks like the Chiefs did the right thing. It seems like, oh, this came out, we cut him immediately. Here's the problem. This happened in February. And the other 2 incidents that recently came out happened in January. They only cut him because TMZ released the video and now it's to the public. They didn't question him. They didn't talk to the victim. They barely made any attempt, the Chiefs or the NFL.
It just seemed like a knee-jerk reaction.
This was a train wreck. This is terrible. And they look good because of it, because they cut him so quickly. They completely blew this up. This is terrible. The Chiefs did a horrible job.
Yeah, so my question to you, Matt, now is, do you think we'll ever see Kareem Hunt play, you know, another snap in his life for a team in the future? Will we?
I don't. And it doesn't matter to me how this goes in court, if this even goes to court, because we saw it with Ray Rice. He ended up, satisfying things with the woman. They got married, whatever, but he never played again because of that reputation. Yeah. The quote I saw from an ESPN article is this, and this is what I want to leave this question with. The question from the NFL should have been, what did they know and when did they know it? Instead it was, what did they want to know and when did they decide they had no choice but to know more?
Yeah, it kind of sounded like a giant PR blow up to me, but you know, maybe they were hiding some information that we didn't know, as you said.
Absolutely.
The New York Islanders made headlines when they debuted their all-female broadcast team in their latest game against the Washington Capitals. Matt, this has been a long time coming, so when will we see more female broadcast boosts in other sports?
More lighthearted question. This is great.
Yeah,
I love to see this.
Yeah.
And there are so many already great female reporters and broadcasters in sports. I'm thinking Doris Burke, Hannah Storm, Michelle Tafoya, just to name a few. They're so good. And the fact that they're having an all-female broadcast for a men's game, it shouldn't even be a second thought. Yeah. I know it's a big deal, but it shouldn't even be.
It's absolutely amazing. I know we don't talk about WWE a lot, you know, kind of flirt the sports and entertainment line, but they just hired their first full-time female broadcaster, Renee Young, for week to week doing their main flagship show on NBC Universal and USA. And it's great that we see people like, as you mentioned, Doris Burke and Renee Young, for example, break the mold of what a female broadcaster is, and I think we're going to see it very, very soon.
Doris Burke is great. They're all great, and there's no reason this shouldn't have happened sooner.
Yeah, definitely.
Islanders, good on you. The NHL announced today that hockey will be coming to the beautiful city of Seattle for the 2021-2022 season. Andrew, what does this mean for the city right now, and what does it mean going forward?
I think it's fantastic because it's a fun expansion that'll make the NHL rather. Sorry, I still got NFL on my mind. NHL only more interesting. I mean, we looked at teams like Vegas that won their conference last year in their first year because they actually put in effort to build this expansion team.
Do you think that Vegas' success led to a new franchise so quickly? Is that a big reason?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Like, it could be just the appeal of having a new team and seeing, veterans like Andre Fleury and all them, get a second chance on a team and see these new up-and-comers as well. But I don't think that's the driving factor here. I think Seattle's a great city to push there. They've had a team in the past, and now they probably have 4 major teams in all 4 major American sports now, which is amazing. Only good for the city,
yeah,
I think.
Expansion drafts are hard, and that's just plain and simple. They're hard to go successfully, and the NHL did such a good job with the Knights that they said, well, let's do it quickly. Let's do it again. 32, nice even 32 like the NFL. And you mentioned it, the Sounders, the Mariners, the Seahawks. Seahawks are one of the best fan bases in the entire NFL, as do the Sounders for the MLS. They're going to play in Key Arena, which will be renovated. That's where the Supersonics used to play. It's a beautiful stadium. Seattle deserves this. They also deserve the Supersonics back.
Yeah,
though.
I was going to say all they need is just the Supersonics back, and maybe KD will come back. Who knows?
I do want to throw this in there, though. So some potential names. These are all names that they actually talked about. These are some of the best ones.
Yeah.
Seattle Emeralds, the Evergreens, Firebirds, the Seattle Kraken, Seattle Rainers, the Renegades, Sea Lions,
Well, don't
Seals.
forget they were also called the Metropolitans, but they didn't want to be known as the Seattle Mets. I think the Emeralds is probably the best name out there. The Emerald City, fantastic. Gives off a nice green aesthetic as well. So,
well, that is all the time we have with the quick hitters.
When we get back, we'll discuss the NBA's biggest games during the holiday break.